Okay, we had our last caller, Norma, making the point that the problem is the Egyptian poor don't have enough money. We've got to do a better job of distributing the wealth. The hell with that. We don't need to do that. If that's a problem, why doesn't Mubarak just print some money and hand it out there at Tahrir Square? If that's what the problem is, print the money. That's what we've done. Don't smirk at me, Snurdly. That's what we've done. What do you get stimulus with? Did we have the money? Did we have the money to give away to Obama's? But we didn't. What did we do? We printed the money. We printed the money. No, but the people Obama wanted to get the money got it. The unions or whoever, wherever he intended that money to go, it went. This Mubarak is an idiot. Just start printing money. I mean, we are the model here. How he keeps himself in office and become beloved by the same people that hate his guts here. What's so hard about this? Just print the money. Or, call up Hu Jintao and borrow some, for crying out loud. Offer to make the iPhone cheaper than the Joy-Cons do. I don't know. Rush, why are you being so flippant about this? Folks, flippant? I'm taking real-world events and applying the American solution to them. You got problems with people who don't have enough money? You print it. You give it to them and you call it a stimulus plan. Tell people this is about getting new jobs. This is about rebuilding roads and bridges. This is about rebuilding our infrastructure. This is about making sure that our country becomes modernized again. This is about bringing employment down to 8%. We're going to have a revived economy, and we're going to finish this by the time our stimulus is in place. Employment will be down 8%. Hundreds of thousands of jobs will be created. Blah, blah. Well, we did that. We were told all of that. We didn't just print $1 trillion for TARP, or for Porculus. We printed $2 trillion for TARP and whatever else the Fed did. We're continuing to print money, QE2, to funnel to the stock market. And it's all for the express purpose of revitalizing our economy. I don't know what their health care situation is over there, but if Mubarak would have just, come out in favor of universal health care, everybody gets coverage, keep your doctor, keep your plan, keep your whatever you have to say to them, get it passed, you wouldn't have people in the streets. This guy's obviously an idiot. He's got the role model of how to do all this, and he's just totally ignored it. He sits around waiting for us to give him the money when he can just print it. Why are we the only ones that print our money? We don't have any. And we not only print it for us, we print it for him, a lot of other people too. Anyway, her call is interesting, and from the standpoint, the reason I wanted to query her about, well, where are we going to get the money? It's if you have a problem with poverty, what's the solution to it? And I intended the question as a think piece. Obviously, I failed with her because she had limited time to respond and she had the passionate answers that she wanted to say. But think about it. If you have a problem with poverty, what is the solution to that? Okay, creating wealth, but you got to define that. We have had in this country a whole lot of programs to fix poverty. We've had the Great Society. We've had a war on poverty. We have had any number of welfare programs, and I would ask you, have we reduced poverty as an expression or as a percentage of our population? No. Now, compared to poverty in Egypt, our poverty isn't poverty. But compared, to the standard of living in this country, we do have poverty, but not when compared to poverty in the rest of the world. So we arguably in this country do far, far better with our underprivileged than many other countries do. Why is that? The answer is very simple, folks. It's what's so frustrating about the election of Obama in the first place. The answer is the unequal distribution of capitalism around the world. If you want a prosperous population, with robust opportunity, you have to have free markets. You cannot have a command and control economy. You cannot have as your standard operating procedure the notion that you are going to transfer from earners to non-earners or from producers to non-producers and create wealth. That is not creating wealth, it's destroying it, which is all governments can do. Governments cannot create wealth. All they can do is destroy it. And that is happening in this country. I'm sure it's happened in Egypt. I don't doubt these people at Tahiri Circle are ticked off because of poverty concerns, standard of living concerns. But they're not going to have a solution to it with just a new figurehead. They're not going to have if the military ends up running the show or Suleiman, they're not going to have a significant change in economic circumstances until there is a significant change in economic structure. And even then, it isn't going to happen overnight. And we can sit here all day and lament the fact that Mubarak lives in a palace and these people in the protests live on $2 a day. That's not going to change tomorrow when Mubarak's gone. It isn't going to change next year after Mubarak's gone. What has to happen is an accompanying change of structure, free markets, and even then, with free markets, not everybody is going to be wealthy. Not everybody is going to be as prosperous as others. You are still going to have gradations of it, of income and wealth. You can divvy ours up into 5 quintiles, which is done for study purposes. Bottom fifth, second fifth, third fifth, middle fifth, the top fifth, whatever. You can divide it into tenths or quarters if you want to, but you're still going to have a disparity. And the best efforts to make everybody the same always fail. It's not possible. Every effort made by command and control structure, economy, government, what have you, to equalize outcomes under the premise of fairness or whatever is a dismal failure. That primarily is what Egypt is based on. Any socialist authoritarian country is based on the false premise that everybody's going to be equal. Everybody's going to be the same. Everybody's going to be comfortable. It never works out that way. It all goes back to why and how did this country in 230 short years outperform every other civilization in history? And it's the way we structured ourselves, which allowed for our true freedom, intelligence, and ambition to surface and prosper and function unimpeded for the most part. Most people in the world do not have that basic structure in which to function. And sadly, many people in the world don't want to take the risk. They just as soon sacrifice a little freedom, sacrifice a little security for a guaranteed meager wage, rather than take the risk, hard work, or what have you. It depends on how they've been conditioned. But to sit here and say they live on $2 a day, we have to have compassion for them. We do. But you just can't start passing out money to them. Because when do you stop? If you start doing that, you're not changing anything. You are prolonging the problem and actually making it worse. The true creation of wealth, the true generation of wealth resulting in legitimate economic growth, the expansion of the pie, cannot happen under an authoritarian, I don't care how well-intentioned. It cannot happen under a socialistic government. I don't care how well-intentioned. I don't care how much compassion is behind it. I don't care how much good intention is involved. It is not structurally possible to grow an economic pie. We, the United States of America, are the textbook lesson in how to do it. And I'm amazed that there have not been greater attempts to emulate what we do. We're surrounded by people who want to stamp us out. We're surrounded by people who want to tamp us down. Sadly, some of those people now are in positions of power in our own government, which is why there's a Tea Party made up of people who understand that the greatness of America is under assault. So yeah, it sounds really good. Oh yeah, we've got to we have to be fairer as we distribute the wealth. Well, somebody's got to create it first. Somebody has to earn it before somebody else can take it and give it to somebody else. And as long as there is an animosity and a hatred for those who do that creating of wealth, who do the generation, who create and grow the economy, so long as we have people who foster a resentment and hatred for those people, it's going to be very difficult to be constantly successful at doing it. People don't want to feel like targets. People doing good things, people playing by the rules, people using their natural talents are sick and tired of being blamed for what other people don't have. It's not their fault. It's not Walmart's fault that somebody doesn't have something. It's not the fault of anybody or company or group of prosperous people that somebody else doesn't. But the way we've set things up, it's a zero-sum game. And if there's a bunch of rich people, it means there had to have one time been other rich people that had things stolen from them. So the socialist communists come along and say, we're going to equalize. We're going to take these people that took your money in the first place. We're going to get it back. But you never get it back because you never had it in the first place. Because the whole premise that you've been stolen from, robbed, or what have you is flawed. And it's a message and a premise put forth by shameless politicians who have tried their best to convince people, just vote for me, and I'll end your poverty, or I'll end your misery, or I'll end your unhappiness, and I'll make sure these people stealing from you, these unfair people taking this, they stop that. I'm going to get it back for you. I'll make sure everything's okay. It never works out, does it? You end up with Egypt. Every single time. So, yeah, it's frustrating to get somebody calling, well, you need to give them some more money. We need to transfer more money. Yeah, immediately it is. But unless they figure out a way to produce it for themselves and make it long-lasting and systematic and institutional, it isn't going to matter a hill of beans.